what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I've got for you guys today is the latest physique update from none other than Patrick Moore. I know it's been a while since we've talked about Patrick. He tried to make his comeback at last year's Arnold Classic Ohio. That didn't quite go the way that he planned. And now he's planning another comeback here for 2024. In his most recent video that he posted yesterday, I think this was the most impressive. Looks really conditioned, really good. And he said in the caption here, he didn't directly say which shows that he's going to be doing, but if you read the context clues here, he had 3 hashtags. Hashtag Motor City, hashtag Big Apple, hashtag Golden State. And ironically, there's 3 shows coming up for all 3 of those hashtags. Motor City being Detroit, which is going to be early April. The Big Apple being the New York Pro, which is in May. And then after that, you've got the Cali Pro. So I think in all likelihood, those are going to be the 3 shows that we see Patrick do. And look, I'm always interested when we see Patrick's name come up and when he starts competing again, because there was a point in time where there was a lot of excitement for Patrick Moore. He brought something different to open bodybuilding. He had really good conditioning and a really aesthetic, pleasing physique at that 2019 Olympia, where he took a top 10 spot at his Olympia debut. And there was a lot of hype for him after that, and it just never materialized for him after that. And then I think at his most recent Olympia, he placed like 14th place. The most recent Arnold that he did wasn't great. But whenever his name comes up, I'm still always hopeful that we can see him do well because he had so much promise. And like I said, even though that 2019 was, 5 years ago now, I would still like to see him do well. I know a lot of people have kind of written him off. I know we haven't talked about him in a long time. But I am curious to hear what you guys think in the comments below. I mean, I think he looks pretty diced here, and now it kind of makes sense if he's doing a show as early as that Detroit Pro in April. That's why he's in such good shape. But I was impressed to see this. I haven't really seen him looking like this in a while. And I would say the main 2 criticisms for Patrick have been his legs and they've been his size, because he is a little bit of a smaller guy in open. But the thing that made him so competitive was when he had that crazy conditioning like in 2019. So even though he was smaller, the conditioning was crazy, and that was enough to get him some of these good spots. And we haven't really seen him back to that 2019 level of conditioning, and he doesn't really seem a whole lot bigger than he was back then. So it's kind of a combination of those 2 things that I think just haven't matched up again. The conditioning hasn't been back to where it was in 2019. And size-wise, he's just not, significantly bigger. And I think he gets outsized and kind of overlooked on stage. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Is there a hope for a Patrick Moore redemption in 2024? Now, next up in the news, we got to talk about this. So another update, 2 updates actually, from Hadi Choopan. We're a little under 4 weeks out now from the 2024 Arnold Classic. I think that this update from Hadi was essentially a direct response to the update that we got from Samson just the day prior to this update from Hadi, and I'll tell you why. Because the update from Samson was just Samson from the back showing off his hamstrings, and that was really the talk of the bodybuilding industry that day, was look how much improved Samson's hamstrings look. So Hadi, of course, less than 24 hours later, posts his own update and starts it out just by showing off his hamstrings and showing off his back. And that was the majority of the video. I think that was a direct response to Samson. They've had like this little bit of weird back and forth rivalry. I know that Hadi accused him of potentially photoshopping stuff, and it seems like they just might not like each other for whatever reason. And it seems like during the course of this prep, Hadi has taken some shots at Samson with his updates and the timing of these updates. I feel like a lot of what Hadi posts is always right after Samson posts something. This one felt pretty direct to me, and I think that's also kind of confirmed by the fact that Hadi posted another update today, so a day after the hamstring update, and this time it was showing more of the front shots, but it was obviously from the same posing video, but yesterday making the point to show the back and not the front. Which is another thing that I find very interesting about this, is I think most of us would agree that for neither of these guys, Hadi or Samson, their strong poses are not their back poses. I think we could all probably agree on that. So the fact they're kind of battling with arguably maybe their weakest poses is kind of cool to see. I mean, Hadi and Samson are a very apples and oranges comparison. People like Samson because he's bigger, he's taller, he's more aesthetic, and in the frame that he has allows him to carry, this crazy amount of muscle in a much more aesthetically pleasing way, whereas Hadi is more compact. He's got about as much muscle as he can possibly pack onto his frame, super dense, ultra muscular, crazy conditioned guy. Not the most aesthetic guy in the world, but he's also not aesthetic, if that makes sense. So when you put these updates side by side, it looks very apples and oranges. I mean, Hadi looks really conditioned. That's his trademark. Samson looks really big. That's his trademark, and he looks like he holds it very well. So when you look at these two guys next to each other, it's very apples and oranges. Some people love Hadi's physique, and some people love Samson, and vice versa. And some people hate the other physique and think their guy is so much better. And that's the fun thing about bodybuilding, is so many people looking at this video right now, looking at this side by side, have a completely different opinion of who they think looks better in this side by side, and have completely different reasons for thinking so. And that's what bodybuilding's all about. These opinions. Some of you right now are looking at this update from Hadi and thinking Hadi blows Samson out of the water. It's not even close. Some of you guys are looking at the update from Samson and thinking the exact same thing, that he blows Hadi out of the water. It's not even close. But let me know in the comments below which side of that coin you land on. Personally, I think they're both looking to be close to their all-time best ever physiques. And this is going to be a hell of a battle at the Arnold. Now, next up in the news, a dark horse in the Arnold Classic lineup, pun intended. Horse MD, Marcelo DeAngelis, posting a physique update today that I think is one of the more impressive that I've seen from him. He says in this update he's weighing 124 kilos, which is 273.3 pounds. This is no small guy. And you can see the size that he's put on in this update. I really think he's going to surprise a lot of people. And he also posted an update of his back at 4 weeks out. And I know that a lot of people have criticized his back in the past. But I mean, damn, he looks pretty solid here. I have a feeling people are going to be surprised, I think with him and Raphael both, about how much in the mix they both might be here at the Arnold Classic. I think Brazil is going to represent very strongly. And again, not just in bodybuilding, but classic physique as well with Ramon. I think this is going to be a really good showing for Brazilian bodybuilding. I think they're out to make a statement here. Now, the final story that I have for you guys here is a pretty big breaking story. This is a really interesting one. So Tyler Mannion just put up a video where he says this really big announcement that the IFBB Pro League, the men's open bodybuilding division, is taking on two new corporate sponsors, Uprising Extracts and MIT 40. And the reason why this is going to be such a big deal is because for 21 men's open bodybuilding shows, which I believe he said was every men's open bodybuilding show, the prize money overall for each of those shows as a result of this corporate sponsorship is going to increase by $10,000 per show. The new minimum for first place being $15,000, and the new minimum for second place being $9,000. So the $10,000 per show is first place going from $10,000 to $15,000. $10,000 was the previous minimum, and second place, I believe the minimum was $4,000, going to $9,000 is the other $5,000. So 5 and 5, $10,000 per show for $210,000 over the course of the year to be added to the prize money pool, which I think is significant. This is something that we've been saying for a long time, is that the incentive to compete at these shows just to qualify for the Olympia isn't enough. There needs to be more prize money at some of these shows. And that's why throughout the course of last year, we saw some of these lineups where kind of nobody turned up because there was a lot of travel involved. And, some of these guys know they're going to place outside of the top 10 at the Olympia, but still want to compete and win prize money, not just necessarily to get a ticket to the Olympia, but to be a pro bodybuilder. It's very hard to just earn a living from prize money and competing. Really, just the guys at the top of the Olympia and the top Arnold guys, which are also the top Olympia guys, are the guys making a really good living from prize money and competing. A lot of these other shows, it's really difficult. So I think this is a massive step in the right direction. I think, honestly, since Tyler Mannion has became in charge of some of these things, he's made some really big, impactful decisions that I think have overall been for the best. like the weight increase in classic physique, was a really big, impactful decision. And now this prize money thing, this is cool to see. This is bodybuilding evolving and changing for the better. So I'm going to roll that whole clip for you guys here, just so you guys can get the full context. But that's going to wrap it up for the video, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up, give it a subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out.
Hi, everyone. Tyler Mannion here, Vice President of the NPC and IFBB Pro League. And I'm here with some extremely exciting news. We would love to welcome Uprising, powered by MIT45, as our new corporate sponsor of the IFBB Pro Open Men's Bodybuilding Division. Now, what makes this even more exciting is that because of this sponsorship, the minimum prize money for every men's open show is going to be raised $10,000. Now, of course, we have some shows that give away more than the minimum prize money, but this is going to affect 21 men's open bodybuilding shows, which means $210,000 is going to be injected into the prize money for the open men, all thanks to Uprising, powered by MIT45. So first place will move from $10,000 to $15,000, and second place will move from $4,000 to $9,000 at all of these shows. So this is extremely exciting for the IFBB Pro League. Please, everyone, go check out and support Uprising, powered by MIT45, and give them your support the way they're supporting the IFBB Pro League and all of our athletes. Thank you.
All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at NickStrengthPower. My Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power. My secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.